This is a huge 7-segment display. I mean, it's not that huge, but compared with a common 7-segment display module, this one is quite big. The board is 130 by 80 mm. But that's not the best part of this project. This PCB is controlled in series using just one data pin. If you ever use this WS2811 addressable LED strip, you will know how this 7-segment display PCB works as well, because this one is controlled by the same chip. Actually 3 chips, because each IC could control 3 segments, and the PCB has a total of 8 segments including the decimal point. And not just that, but you could place multiple modules in series and control all of them just with one data cable, because the data out from one module is the data in of the next one, and so on. So you could place 10 modules for example in series if you want, and all controlled by one data signal from the microcontroller. In this video we will see how I've made this PCB, how the WS2811 IC works, the code that I've made to control these modules and the depths to multiple displays, but also some errors that I've made. Correcting errors usually teaches you a lot more, so I hope that this video will teach you something new. Before we start, make sure that you subscribe and activate the notification bell. A huge thank you to all my patrons for the support. So let's get started. What's up my friends, welcome back. Before I start explaining why we need each component, let's see what this PCB could do. It has 3 input pins for 5 volts, ground and signal. I connect those to an Arduino and I upload a test sketch. This code will change the displayed character each second, and as you can see, we could show numbers from 0 to 9 and also some letters such as A, B, C and a few more. We could also control the decimal point and each segment separately. When the segments are powered off, you will see that the LEDs are still glowing a little bit, and that's because a small error that I've made, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But now I connect a second module in series with the first one. This one has different colors LEDs, but it works the same. As you can see, I can now control both modules separately and display different numbers. The modules are not receiving the same data. We could show different numbers or letters on different modules because the data out from the first one is the data in of the second one and so on, so we could send the serial data from one to the next. We can see other examples that you could do with these boards, and as you can see you could control each segment separately if you want. Once you download the code you will see a few examples that you could make, so check the code as well. All information for this project is below. This PCB was manufactured by the sponsor of this video, GLC PCB, which is the PCB manufacturer that I use for years now and gives me the best prices and PCB quality. You could get PCBs from only $2 for 5 boards. This board is a little bit bigger than 100 by 100 mm, so I had to pay $7.5 for 5 PCBs, which is still a very low price. You could also order 2 layers, 4 layers and even 6 layers PCBs, and now they also have available the SMT pick and place process where you could get your PCBs already mounted, so give that a try as well. You could read more about this in the frequent question about SMT service on glcpcb.com. Anyway, I download my Gerber file from EasyEDA and upload it to GLC PCB. I select 5 PCBs and a black solder mask. I save this to cart, and for $7 more for shipping, I get the PCBs to Spain. The order process is very easy. So let's see how the PCB works. On the back we can see the pads for a few components. We have some current limiting resistors and the WS2811 ICs, and that's it. So obviously we need to see how these ICs work. Each of these chips could control 3 outputs, and that's why we use these ICs with RGB LEDs for red, green and blue. This is the pinout of this chip. As you can see, it needs a supply of 5 volts and a connection to ground, and then we have the data in pin. To this input we have to send the analog value of the R, G and B outputs. This analog value will be of 8 bits, so a value from 0 to 255. So it's obvious that the data will be something like this. We have 8 bits, then followed by another 8 bits, and finally followed by another 8 bits corresponding to the green, red and blue color. I connect this LED strip that has the same IC and connect the data pin to the oscilloscope. I now upload the code that will turn only the green color of the first LED. So now we have the signal. Small width represents a 0 and the bigger width will represent a 1. As you can see, for the first 8 bits that represents the green color, we have only 1s, and the rest are zeros. This chip will work at a frequency of 800 kHz and it's set in the code. Now I do the same, but instead of fully on, I use the potentiometer to dim the green light from 0 to 255, and as you can see, the first 8 bits are now changing their binary value from 0 to 255. So by controlling these bits, we could control the green, the red and the blue colors of this first LED. But what about the next LED? Well, I now turn the second LED as well, and let's see the signal. This time we have 6 packs of 8 bits instead of 3. So all we have to do is to send the serial data for all the LEDs. In our case, the 7-segment display needs to control 8 LEDs, and since the data from one IC will go to the next, we could control all the segments. Now if you take a look at the schematic, you will see that I didn't connect the LEDs of each segment directly to the IC pins. And that's because these chips could deliver around 50 mA of current, and that's not enough for 8 LEDs that each segment has. So instead of directly controlling the LEDs with the WS2811 IC, I've placed the MOSFET and control the gate of that MOSFET with the signal from the chip, and in this way I could control any amount of LEDs. So I probably could have done this PCB even bigger if I wanted. You could even control more powerful stuff with this setup, such as motors, big light bulbs, relays and so on. And the best part is that we could control this with just one pin from the microcontroller. And if you wonder, these ICs are very low cost. I've bought 50 chips for only $3 from eBay with shipment included. So imagine the setups that you could make with these ICs. Just connect the outputs to a MOSFET and then to any other device. Okay, now let's talk about the error that I told you before, and why the LEDs are never fully powered off. As you can see right now, I have a lot of through-hole resistors soldered to the back of the PCB, and this is because I've rushed the design and I didn't saw that the RGB outputs from the IC are actually inputs. On the datasheet these are named as out, but these are actually connections to ground, so we have to connect the cathode of the LEDs to these inputs. But I thought that these were outputs and connected a pull down to the MOSFET, but instead I needed a pull up. So that's why we have all these extra resistors connected between the MOSFET gate and VCC. Don't worry, I've already fixed the error on the new PCB, so feel free to download the Gerber file from below. Also, the PWM signal from this driver is never fully turned off, and that's why the LEDs are never off neither. So the solution is to use a PMOSFET or invert the signal, and control the brightness with a high pulse instead of a low signal, and by that you will get the LEDs fully turned off. See the corrected PCB file below. Okay, so get the PCB, the schematic and the components that you need and mount the PCB. That is very easy. I first solder all the LEDs and we need a total of 57 LEDs. Make sure which one is the cathode and which one is the anode and don't solder them backwards. Now we could trim the pins of each LED to length. Okay, so now we have all the LEDs in place. Then I solder the 3 ICs on the back of the PCB. Then we have to solder the small MOSFETs and the rest of the resistors. I now connect 3 thin wires for 5 volts, ground and data for the first module. The PCB has some more pins in order to connect one PCB to the other. So on the left we have some female pins and on the right side we have some male pins, and we can put the PCBs together. As for the Arduino code, you will need the Adafruit NeoPixel library, so go below and download it. In the code I've created a few functions. So we define the Arduino pin that we will use for the data, and the amounts of modules, in this case 2 modules because I only have 2 PCBs. Then we have a few functions, that with the help of a switch case, we can turn each segment on. Read the comments in the code to understand more. Okay guys, so this was my 7-segment display PCB. I hope you now know how the WS2811 IC works, how to use it, and I also hope that you will like this PCB project. In my opinion, I think it's a very cool PCB. Check the links below and consider supporting my work on Patreon. I share all the Gerber files for all the PCBs on this channel with you guys. And if you like this project, consider subscribing and give a like to this video. So thank you very much for all the support to my patrons and my subscribers. Thanks again and see you later guys.